What's going on, guys? It's Greg here, aka NYPrepper. It is Tuesday, October 15th, 2024, and I have an emergency alert to share with you guys. Right now, it is 1600 Eastern Time here in the United States, and we have some major breaking news coming in from Asia. So, apparently, South Korea opened fire on North Korean troops at the DMZ. That's the demilitarized zone. That's the border between North and South Korea, as the North Korean troops attempted to cross into South Korea to plant explosives on the road along the South Korean side of the DMZ. This is being reported by Yonhap News. So Yonhap News is one of the main South Korean news outlets. So they're saying that North Korean troops tried to cross into South Korea to plant explosives along a road that goes along the DMZ on the South Korean side. Now, yesterday also, North Korea blew up two main roads connecting North and South Korea. It was the Gyeongju line and the Donghae line. So this was reported by the Japanese Coast Guard. So very serious situation. South Korea opening fire on North Korean troops, and North Korea has blown up all of the road connections between North and South Korea. And they're supposed to be blowing up rail connections as well. We know that Kim Jong-un has placed his artillery on full combat alert. And we're also hearing that Kim Jong-un convened a national security meeting on Monday, according to North Korean state media, directing a plan of quote-unquote immediate military action. Okay, so it looks like North Korea is about to attack South Korea. And this is all stemming from what North Korea claims was a drone incident in which South Korea sent drones with propaganda leaflets to the capital of North Korea and dispersed those leaflets over the capital. So now North Korea's pissed off. So this is very, very serious, guys. It looks like we're seeing escalation on all of these different war fronts around the world. Okay, it started in Ukraine, then it went to Israel, now it's Asia, okay? And just the other day, China did snap exercises around Taiwan where they practiced blockading Taiwan, and it was just a one-day snap exercise. They put their ballistic missiles on alert. They used all different kinds of military assets in this drill, okay, naval assets, air assets, the army. Okay, so very, very serious situation in Asia. It looks like we could have a war on the Korean Peninsula very, very soon. We currently have U.S. nuclear forces on high alert this afternoon. What you're looking at here are two nuclear war command and control planes up in the air, a B-52 nuclear bomber over Louisiana, and a nuke sniffer over Nebraska. Now, these nuke sniffer planes are responsible for detecting radiation in the atmosphere. Here's two more nuclear war command and control planes that were airborne earlier this morning. So 4 nuclear war command and control planes in the air today. Very, very concerning. Also, we had this over-the-horizon radar that was active this afternoon. This could be a Russian radar, could be Iranian, could be Chinese. Most likely it's a Russian radar, but let me play this for you. So that's an over-the-horizon radar. That's a long-range radar used to detect ballistic missiles, ICBMs, okay, for nuclear war. And also I want to remind you guys that a week ago, Russia dispersed their RS-24 Yars ICBMs, okay? The RS-24 Yars are mounted onto trucks. So these are mobile ICBMs. Russia dispersed these mobile ICBMs from their garages, okay? And the only time you disperse mobile ICBMs from a garage is if you're expecting escalation and you don't want your mobile ICBMs to be hit by enemy missiles. So you disperse them into the forest, into the countryside. And so Russia already did that like a week ago when Israel announced that they were going to launch a very strong response against Iran. Also, the Russian Deputy Foreign Minister Andrei Rudenko said that Russia will provide military assistance to North Korea if the country comes under attack, as is stipulated by a treaty between Moscow and Pyongyang. Okay, so if you remember, what was it, earlier this year, I think it was, Putin went to North Korea for the first time, I think ever, or in a very long time, and he signed this treaty with Kim Jong-un. It was a mutual defense pact. Now we're hearing of North Korean troops fighting in eastern Ukraine and operating North Korean missiles for the Russians. And now the Russian Deputy Foreign Minister saying that Russia will provide military assistance to North Korea. Okay, that is very, very serious, guys. That's what happened during the Korean War. Okay, U.S. fighter jets were dogfighting with Russian fighters, okay, over the Korean Peninsula. That could happen again. And also, South Korea's president said a few days ago that if North Korea ever used nuclear weapons on South Korea, that the response from the U.S. and South Korea would just be devastating. And also remember, in early 2023, Biden approved a nuclear sharing program with South Korea. So it's very possible that South Korea now has maybe B-61 nuclear gravity bombs or some other kind of nuclear weapons. And the Associated Press claims to have spoken to several Biden administration officials who say that while Israel has given assurances they will not launch strikes against Iranian oil and nuclear facilities, they do not believe these assurances are ironclad and that circumstances could change in the future, with them stating that Israel's track record on their fulfillment of assurances is seen as mixed. Okay, so yesterday, the mainstream media was just running wild with this story that, oh, Israel's not going to strike the nuclear facilities. They're not going to strike the oil. Guys, that is probably misinformation, okay? The powers that be are telling the mainstream media to push this out there to calm the sheeple, okay? They don't want the sheeple to panic, pull their money out of the stock market, etc., etc. So they come up with this story that, oh yeah, Israel assured Biden in a phone call that they're not going after the nuclear sites. So let's wait and see what happens. But according to several Biden administration officials, they say that basically the assurances given to Biden from Israel are not ironclad and circumstances could change. Also, the Biden administration said that the general targets of the strike on Iran have been approved. And this update was sponsored by My Patriot Supply. Guys, My Patriot Supply has brought back their 25% discount on their 3-month emergency food supply. And to get the discount, you have to use the link preparewith.NYPrepper.com. And the link is in the description below this video. And this 3-month emergency food supply has a 25-year shelf life with over 2,000 calories per day, all packed inside of 6 rugged water-resistant buckets. Free shipping is included. The normal price is $800. If you use the link, you'll only pay $600 for 3 months of food with free shipping. So use the link preparewithnyprepper.com to get 25% off of the My Patriot Supply 3-month emergency food supply, and the link is in the description below this video. And we're also hearing that Israel updated the Biden administration on the general targets of the strike on Iran without providing specifics, and that Israeli sources said that targets may change at the last minute. Okay, so with regards to the nuclear sites and the oil sites, a lot of the Israeli sources are now telling Israeli media that that is not ironclad, just like the Biden sources were saying. okay, that this could all change at any moment. It's a fluid situation, okay? And Netanyahu arrived today by helicopter at an undisclosed secure location near Tel Aviv to conduct a security consultation for preparations on the attack on Iran. This is being reported by Khan News. And while meeting today with cabinet members and the head of government ministers in Tel Aviv, the Israeli Minister of Defense, Yoav Gallant, stated actions in Iran may have consequences for other locations. He also said that Israel will respond to Iran soon, reiterating that it will be a lethal and precise response. Okay, so they are expecting escalation from this, but it will be a serious response, guys. And Pentagon Press Secretary Major General Pat Ryder stated this morning that U.S. soldiers and initial components for the THAAD air defense battery have arrived in Israel, with additional troops and equipment to arrive in the country over the coming days, further stating that the air defense battery will be operational in the near future. Okay, so the THAAD battery has arrived. The American soldiers who are supposed to be operating this battery have arrived as well. So everything is getting positioned now. Okay, we also have the Harry Truman Carrier Strike Group on its way to the Eastern Mediterranean. It just transited the Straits of Gibraltar. So it looks like Israel's just going to wait for everything to be in position before they launch their attack. So it could happen any day now, guys. And here we have a video showing a Hezbollah bunker that the Israeli military recently discovered. And they just captured 3 elite Hezbollah units, the Radwan forces. They captured 3 Radwan forces and their bunkers. Here we have the Israeli army spokesman, Daniel Hagari, explaining everything about this bunker. So let's just listen to this.
Now, in the bunker that we found underneath a Lebanese house in a Shia village, only a couple of kilometers from our border. This bunker was ready for Radwan forces, for a battalion of Radwan forces to enter into this bunker and do a raid into Israel and do a larger scale of massacre than the 7th of October. They were planned with the motorcycles here to go to Kiryat Shmona, to Iftach, to villages and positions inside Israel and conduct a massacre. They were only here a couple of days ago. In those beds with those weapons here, we found the fresh coffee and food here in this compound.
So they were going to conduct a larger attack than the one on October 7, and they had motorcycles and all kinds of weapons, and this was underneath a house in southern Lebanon, okay? So we have some very concerning news coming from Europe. It looks like NATO is about to go to war with Russia. We're seeing more signs of that. So Estonia recently tested bunkers that they plan to build along their border with Russia. They plan to build 600 bunkers along their border with Russia. Here's a picture showing one of these bunkers being tested. Okay, they hit it with, looks like an artillery shell or some kind of a bomb to see how strong it is. So they're going to be building 600 of these bunkers, guys. Not 5, not 10, not 100. 600 bunkers, guys, okay? And the Estonian border with Russia is not that big, okay? Estonia is like the size of Connecticut. Imagine if Connecticut put 600 bunkers along their border with Rhode Island. Okay, that's like one bunker every quarter of a mile. That's insane. That's like World War II stuff, okay? And Latvia apparently has already built 80% of the border fence that they started to build with Russia. And I want to remind you guys that Poland is about to begin massive military drills along their border with Belarus, practicing defending and attacking along their border and crossing into Belarus. And Finland and Sweden will initiate new civil defense campaigns on November 18th, aimed at preparing citizens for a potential crisis, including war. Sweden will distribute 5 million copies of a guide detailing actions to take during a crisis, while Finland will launch a comprehensive website. Okay, so more countries creating civil defense programs. That is not a good sign. And speaking of Europe, I want to just share some concerning flight paths. So what you're looking at here is a U.S. high priority reconnaissance plane flying in northern Poland off the coast of Kaliningrad, which is a Russian province. And what's interesting about this one is that it was flying super low here near Gdańsk, which is the northern port city in Poland. So something is brewing over here. We've been seeing these high priority reconnaissance planes, RC-135 Combat Sense, patrolling Kaliningrad, the Baltics, and northern Poland almost every day for the last month or so, okay? The U.S. Air Force only has 2 of these planes, so if one of them is airborne somewhere, it means that something very serious is going on, and they also send this information that they collect directly to the president. Okay, so when the president and the Joint Chiefs and the defense minister of the U.S. or defense secretary want to take a closer look at something that's very serious, they send these planes in. And we've been seeing them every single night almost here around Kaliningrad. So it looks like Russia is planning to attack the Baltics and possibly Poland. Here we have a Swedish reconnaissance plane patrolling northern and eastern Poland. Here we have a German army helicopter patrolling the Lithuanian border with Belarus just south of Vilnius. This is an area that is very, very vulnerable because Vilnius, the capital of Lithuania, is literally just 20 miles from the border of Belarus, and there's a highway that just leads straight into Vilnius from Belarus. So this helicopter was patrolling this vulnerable area here, and there's really no NATO forces here, okay? But Belarus has built up their forces right on the border here. They've moved tank brigades and various brigades here. And here we have some activity in the eastern Mediterranean. Last night we had a U.S. Navy reconnaissance drone patrolling the eastern Med. And yesterday, during this massive exercise that China conducted around Taiwan, there were apparently a record number of Chinese aircraft and naval vessels operating around Taiwan. According to Taiwan's Ministry of Defense, 153 Chinese military aircraft and 14 Chinese naval vessels were operating around Taiwan, and 111 of those 153 aircraft crossed the median line and entered Taiwan's ADIZ, their Air Defense Identification Zone. That is insane. And we have some information coming from Ukraine that an estimated 18 North Korean soldiers deserted from their positions in Russia in the Kursk and Bryansk oblasts near the Ukrainian border. This was reported by Suspilne, which was citing unnamed intelligence officials. Very interesting. And the Minister of Defense of France has announced the completion of successful tests of the first French suicide drones named Colibri, which will be delivered to Ukraine. So this is crazy, guys. France is building their own suicide drones that they're going to be sending to Ukraine so Ukraine can use them on Russian soil. Guys, this is going to escalate. There's just no way around it, okay? We're seeing escalation everywhere in Asia, in the Middle East, in Eastern Europe, guys. All of these major war fronts are escalating every single day more and more. So you need to get right with God, because at any moment there could be World War III, there could be nuclear war. But that's the latest breaking news that I have. I might be back later on tonight with more breaking news. And if anything happens in Israel or South Korea or Ukraine or wherever, I do go live and I update you guys live as things happen. But I think something is about to go down very soon, possibly on the Korean Peninsula as well. Follow me on Telegram and Twitter. I post all my updates over there. I do have my 24/7 live stream ongoing right now. And the links to my Telegram and Twitter are in the description below this video. But just get ready, guys, because I do believe something really, really big is going to happen very, very soon, right before the election possibly. We'll have to wait and see. And I will be providing election coverage, just so you guys know. I will be providing coverage of U.S. elections live. So tune in to the NYPrepper channel on November the 5th, and I will be updating you guys with information on results coming in from different states. So until the next time, I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Take care, God bless, and don't forget the 3 Ps: prepare, practice, and persevere.